And welcome to a Saturday edition of That's My Sports. I am the host with the most, Aaron Cass, here with Hollywood Ray. There is just too much stuff going down in the sports world. We're going to break everything down from Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, Dan Lanning. You name it, we got it. There's some NFL postseason we'll talk about just a little bit, just a few players / scheduling. But oh my goodness, before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow That's My Sports on YouTube. Greatly appreciated. So Hollywood Ray, how we doing?
Oh, good man. I'm rocking the old school Josh Smith
Whew.
Atlanta Hawks jersey. So that was my guy. I have every now and then I have players I'm irrationally attached to, and Josh Smith was one of those guys back in the day. So, but no, feeling good, man. I got some cleaning done earlier. Going to finish them after we tape today. But yeah, feeling good. Long weekend too, so it's always good.
Yeah, so before we get into the NFL, we'll go a little college football. So Nick Saban retired. In comes insert kalendeboer, Washington head coach, literally just lost the national championship, moves on down to Tuscaloosa. Was the NIL deal really the big thing for Nick Saban? Why he retired? I mean, there's no way because he's old and he's saying it's his health. But I just don't think he can compete with NIL deals and transfer portals. It just seems like he can't control his players.
Yeah, I mean, other what do you call it? Other programs were going to become better because they were able to offer money. Now, obviously, Alabama has produced more pros than anybody in the Saban era. So
49 All-Americans and 45 All-Americans / first round picks.
Yeah, crazy. So, you would think, that was you were damn near guaranteed a trip to the NFL, even if you were getting drafted in the later rounds if you went to Alabama. So, so I think there was some things that he held over their heads, obviously, like any college coach does, but he was doing it better than most because they were winning. So, but once the playing field literally changed financially, then he didn't have the same advantage as he did in years past. But I mean, listen, when you win seven? Well, no, he won 6 with them. He's won 7 overall because he got one with LSU before he left to go to Alabama. Obviously, he had a short stint with the Miami Dolphins back in 2005. Hell of a career there. So Saban's been doing. Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know who Dan is, but what's up, Dan? But yeah, for sure.
It's that's Sunny Days Jerry. He does Sunny Days report on Sundays and Thursdays. He's also on one of my co-hosts for Blue Shirts Banner. So shout out Jerry.
Yeah. No. Absolutely, Dan. Absolutely, he was absolutely they was giving money to guys long before it was a thing publicly, before it was taboo. So yeah. So I mean, listen, 7 national championships. Who knows? I'll take it for face value. Maybe he, it was starting to deteriorate his health, and he said, you know what, let me just move on. While I still have my bearings. So, but either way, a hell of a job for him.
Yeah. I mean, and the successor coming in, kalendeboer, we just saw he had Michael Penix for the 2 years. He had Romeo Adubzi. I'm sorry, I'm definitely saying that wrong. Dylan Johnson. So they all left. So I kind of figured he was going to be the new head coach because everyone that on his the offense was just leaving to go to the draft. So I'm like, uh-oh, something's up. I liked how Steve Sarkisian was like, nope, I'm staying at Texas. So because everyone kept linking him to Alabama. I saw Lane Kiffin at one point. They were linking him to Alabama. I was like, no, he's not going back.
How many chances does he get?
Exactly.
It's just like, damn, how many places do y'all want him to be to realize that he's not? You know what? And you'll appreciate this reference. He's the college version of Josh McDaniels.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's not even close. So how many chances do you want to give this man before you realize he's not the guy to be at the helm? Once again, very good coordinator, very good, assistant for sure, but not to be the guy. He a guy, sure, but not the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kept seeing too, Dan Lanning, Oregon head coach. He said he was going to stay at Oregon, which is fine. I mean, he's building a program up there. They still have never won a national championship, so good luck. Also, too, I'm going to throw some shade. That is Mario Cristobal's teams up there with how the recruiting went. So I don't give Dan Lanning too much credit yet until he actually wins on his own, but that's just throwing some shade. But Kalendeboer, obviously 25-3 with Washington, 37-9 overall. And the FBS, I think in the FCS in Sioux Falls, he was 67-3. I believe he was with Nick Saban at one point because there's so much Nick Saban coaching tree. So
right.
I think he'll do a good job at Alabama. I don't think he's going to the national championship anytime soon, not like in the first 2 years. I feel like he's going to be a Mario Cristobal where he's going to, recruit, get everything in place because of what Nick Saban's done. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of recruits because Nick Saban's not there. You can't guarantee with Kalendeboer if he's going to elevate the first round draft picks for when you go there. So, I mean, we'll see how it is, but I mean, hats off to Nick Saban, though. I mean, best to ever do it in the college football game. He has more wins than Bear Bryant. Was not expecting that. I think he has 207 at Alabama, whereas Bear Bryant had 171. So, good on that. Another legend, Bill Belichick. Going to switch over a little bit. Called it quits or parting ways. He pulled a Tom Coughlin. And then all of a sudden, a day later, insert jerodmayo. Not even 24 hours. So did you think that it's a smart move that the Patriots already tagged on jerodmayo as the head coach? Or do you feel like they should have did a few more interviews? Maybe there was a guy that's better than jerodmayo. But I'm not really sure. Shout out to Hit Squad Productions.
It was good. It was good.
He's also one of my co-hosts for Feeling Blue Giants Pod with me, CPNY Sports. So shout out that. But yeah, what do you think about the jerodmayo?
So on the surface, I didn't feel like it was a good hire. We spoke a little about this briefly yesterday when we were texting back and forth. Now historically, it's a great hire because he's the first African American coach ever to be a head coach for the Patriots. So that alone makes it a great move. But what I was nervous about, and I mentioned this on Missing the Point earlier this week, I was hoping that they brought in someone that had more experience, whether that's Rabel, whether that was Jim Harbaugh, someone that had done it at the NFL level. But at the same time, realizing that if they brought in somebody, not just physically but mentally, you lose Mayo, right? Now, no one knew that they had this backhand deal in place, right, until it got reported by Schefter and Rappaport. That they had that tied in, that when they extended Mayo and Belichick, that Mayo would be the successor. People talked about Josh McDaniels. People talked about maybe Bill O'Brien if that was the case, but it ended up being Mayo. Kraft obviously believes in his ability to lead, not just on the defensive side, but the whole organization. So that's a good look, but I feel like they're gonna have to do like what they did with Joe Mazzulla with the Celtics, where it's like surrounding him around with other coaches that have been there. And no, not Josh McDaniels. I know you was messing with me about that yesterday. It's not Josh McDaniels. You got to get somebody. I'd even take the guy that just got let go in Tennessee. Not Tennessee, in Atlanta. I'd take Arthur Smith as OC. Like it has to be somebody with new ideas, right? Otherwise, there was no need to let go of Bill. Because if you only let go of Bill and everybody else is the same, what exactly was the end goal there? So, but either way, congrats to Mayo, because like I said, he made history. But I just hope they add more around him so that he looks as prominent as possible.
Yeah, I'm very curious about what his way is going to be. We obviously know the Patriots way or the Bill Belichick way. So I'm kind of curious if he's going to kind of influence that with what other Bill Belichick disciples have done, a.k.a. Joe Judge, a.k.a. I guess Charlie Weiss and all them that have gone, even Josh McDaniels. So I hope it's a good hire. And his squad here says, I like Mayo the player. I'm curious to see him replace the GOAT. But I'm excited to see how it plays out for New England. I mean, I keep seeing, too, that jerodmayo are thinking of trading up one spot over Washington to go get a Drake May, a Caleb Williams, which we'll talk about in a little bit with Caleb Williams, that little drama saga going on here. But, yeah, I think they should get Arthur Smith. I, for some reason, think it's still going to be Bill O'Brien. But I don't know why. Maybe just because of the familiarity with the Patriots. But do you think
that'd be a mistake.
Yeah, but do you think though that maybe Jerodmayo should go find someone in the college era, because it's seeming like all of these like goats or older coaches are getting kind of pushed out? Because Pete Carroll, 72, he got pushed out. Andy Reid's now the oldest head coach in the NFL at 65. So should Jerodmayo do that, or just kind of stick whoever's in the NFL?
I mean, I guess if you want to go from a relatable standpoint, then you may look in the college ranks. I don't know who that target would be, because I don't know enough about any college OCs that are hot commodities for the pro level. But and the thing is, the guys that people would want as OCs are looking to be head coaches. So that's Bobby Slowick in Houston, that's Ben Johnson in Detroit, right? So those are two names that have been thrown around basically at nauseum. Since the half midway of the season, I should say, excuse me. So if you can't get one of those two guys, which is probably not going to happen, but like I said, yeah, either you look at Arthur Smith, or like I said, maybe they take heed to what you said and get those guys, get somebody from college that can run a system here at the pro level. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny too that the Patriots, over the last 30 years, I saw this one, have goats as head coaches. You had the Big Tuna, you had Pete Carroll, and now you have Bill Belichick. So it's big shoes to fill for Jerodmayo. We know how Pete Carroll ended though. He was too nice.
It was misleading to have Pete Carroll on that picture. Once again, what he became, sure, fine. I mean that he obviously was a monster at USC. Did great things obviously in Seattle. So if that's the case, but no, I mean it's really the two Bills, which is why they had 30 for 30 on it. Like it's
great 30 for 30, by the way.
Yeah, one of the best ones out there. So yeah, so I just wonder where Bill goes. Once again, we talked about it, I think, a little bit last week. I think that the Chargers would be a great move. I wouldn't be surprised if Arthur Blank, gave an open checkbook and said, "Hey, come on down." It would be a little different to see Belichick in a dome stadium for 8 games a year. I wonder how his coaching style would change a little bit if that was the case. But also, the NFC South is the weakest division as of now. So maybe that leans him to being in NFC South. But other than that, I think the Chargers would be the best spot, unless Dallas loses this weekend and he replaces Mike McCarthy.
I just don't see Bill Belichick like working together with Jerry Jones. I feel like Jerry just has too much power.
He loves him though. Jerry Jones loves Bill.
Yeah, but I mean, he kind of butt heads with the Big Tuna, and he has a way bigger personality than Bill Belichick. But it's funny you say that, because I did see some rumors that Bill Belichick and the Falcons have kind of a mutual interest within each other. So it would be quite interesting to see if he's going to keep Taylor Heineke or Desmond Ridder as the quarterback. He has a great offensive arsenal. He does have, I believe he's an all-pro. I could be wrong on that, but if I am, then I am. But AJ Terrell, the cornerback.
Oh yeah,
they're just missing some DNs, because obviously they're just getting a little bit older there, and they have Grady Jarrett, who I believe was hurt this year, but nonetheless, still a pretty good defense for him to work with. But Jim Harbaugh, I keep saying too, he's supposed to visit the Chargers next week. The University of Michigan is trying to stop all that and give him a better contract. So should he go to the Chargers or just stay at UM? Because personally, I think he should just stay at University of Michigan. With Nick Saban gone, he can tack up maybe more national titles, get more recruits. He's finally getting into the groove of beating Ohio State 3 years in a row. So yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh should stay in the college ranks.
Well, I mean, I think I think we had talked a little bit about that on Tuesday, but I just, to me, I'm looking at it from the other mindset, like what else is left to prove? Like now, unless it's to your point of wanting to stack, wins against Ohio State or stack the national championships, great. But when you've been in the NFL and you had success in the NFL, you've been to a Super Bowl, right? Because his coaching career in the NFL was better than his playing career in the NFL, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Not that he was a scrub, but he just wasn't someone that was going to be a perennial Pro Bowler, a perennial contender. And part of it is because of where he got drafted to. The Colts weren't that good when He got drafted to them in the late 80s. Needless to say, I just think that if he wants to go back and get that challenge, or accept that challenge, I should say, then he should come back to the pro level, because that's the only challenge really that's left, is to win a Super Bowl. Once again, I've said this numerous times about the Chargers. We all know they're super talented. It's just, once again, will they stay healthy? And if they can't, then maybe he should look elsewhere. But I think that'd be a very great landing spot for either him or Belichick, if they so choose to go there in the offseason.
Yeah, I think a good move too is that no one's talking about is Mike Vrabel to the Seahawks. I think he could be a good successor to Pete Carroll, because I hope he becomes the Giants' defensive coordinator, but I don't think Mike Vrabel wants to go back to the coordinator role. So I think Seattle would be a great fit for him, and I'm not sure where Pete Carroll will end up. Do you think Pete Carroll will just call it quits, or go back down to college, or just somehow find a way in the Seahawks organization to stay there? I'm not really sure where he would go, because he is the oldest head coach in the NFL.
Well, I think there was a quick rumor that he would replace Saban down in Alabama. I didn't give any credence to that. I just felt like, why would you leave all the way at the Northwest to go all the way down to Alabama just to revamp that program? I didn't think it made sense. I think that he takes on what Bruce Arians did after they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and becomes a senior advisor. Because there was some rumors about him staying within the organization, but just in a different capacity. So yeah, I think that he stays as a senior advisor. I think that makes the most sense. I don't think that him going, unless maybe he goes down to LA and he becomes the Chargers head coach. But I think that staying on as a senior advisor, giving advice to whoever the new coach would be. I didn't even think about Vrabel to Seattle, so you brought that up. I think that would be a good idea. So I agree with you there. But I think that Carroll should be a Seahawk for as long as he wants to be, and in whatever capacity he chooses to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not sure. I just feel like the NFL is just going more younger, I should say, and it's just, I don't know where he would end up.
Same thing NBA. The only professional sport that allows older managers to really be around to an extent still is baseball, right?
Yeah.
And like I say, even then, you got the Alex Coras now. You have the like I say, you really only knew a few managers in baseball now. Like before, you used to really know managers on most teams. You knew Tony La Russa, you knew Tommy Lasorda, you knew obviously Bruce Bochy's, Davey Johnson's, Kevin Kennedy. Like you knew who guys were, but now they're going after the more player route too. Like they're going former players to become managers too. So I think that matters too. Like you want someone that actually, like Bill Belichick is an anomaly. He didn't play at the pro level, but I mean the man,
his pedigree was just immaculate, especially from his dad.
He knew, and he knows more than he's forgotten more than we'll ever know about football. And we saw that during the NFL 100 shows. My God, the stuff that he knew about guys from 1935 was fucking insane. I was like, that's ridiculous. And then how he knew something about Ed Reed when he's like, I remember this play here, you did this with Peyton Manning, and you showed him a cover two, and then it went back to this. And I'm like, dude, like, what? Like, I was, as a quick aside, I always wonder how it would have been had we drafted Ed Reed here. Because I know Rodney Harrison did his thing and we ended up winning with him twice, but
you would have probably had more Super Bowls, in all honesty.
Yeah, because I'm man, because he probably would have knocked out David Tyree. And once again, I love Rodney Harrison.
Wow,
I love Rodney Harrison. He probably would have cleaned
his desk.
Yeah, he would have cleaned. Yeah, he would have cleaned. He would have cleaned David Tyree's desk, for sure. And once again, it just would have to been Plaxico Burress would have to score. It wasn't going to be David Tyree picking that kid. Fine, fuck it. Plaxico Burress got to do his thing because you're not coming across the middle with Ed Reed doing that. But like I said, we'll never know. But yeah. So
yep. Got Hit Squad right here. Listening to y'all on a long drive. Appreciate you guys. Keep me entertained. Keep up the great work. Hit Squad production. Great work too for Giant stuff. Almost need 600 subs. Great stuff out there. We got CPNY Sports. What's up? What's going on, Chris? He's doing too much stuff. I can't even describe. He's got a lot of things going on here.
New York Network right now.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's going great with him. He said Patriots are trading back. Ooh, I could see that.
Stop it.
I could see that.
Not with Bill not being there now. That's it's different now.
Since
the trade back.
Well, since a Hit Squad and CP are in the chat, I saw Wink Martindale, the coward. Check that out on Feeling Blue. CPNY Sports is a great rant on that. The coward Wink Martindale is actually looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now for the defensive coordinator position. Maybe he'll move his way up north and go to the Patriots. Who knows? And also, too, this one I want to talk about because it's very interesting. Antonio Pierce. So for right now, Antonio Pierce is the leading candidate for the Raiders job. Why they're not pulling a Jerodmayo and just signing this man, I have no idea. You're not going to get a head coach rolling up in a caddy, ready for game day, wearing black Air Force Ones, pretty much going to the fan base, giving them hugs, pictures, autographs, whatever. And you can possibly lose your best defensive player, Max Crosby, because Max Crosby said today in a quote, if AP is not the head coach, I want to be traded. Pretty much. I'm going to paraphrase that, but it's pretty much what he said. So should AP be the head coach of the Raiders, or could Eric Bieniemy slide on in and draft Jaden Daniels and create this new Raiders?
So did Bieniemy go over there?
Not yet, but I'm just saying if AP doesn't get hired, because we all know that how the Davises work, they don't do what the fans say. Should they bring in Eric Bieniemy instead and draft Jaden Daniels?
I'm not saying no to. I mean, if they got Daniels, fine. I mean, it is what it is. But we saw Antonio Pierce revitalize that team in the middle of the season. They were damn near dead to right now. Granted, they didn't make the playoffs, but he gave them hope in the middle of the year. Once again, they gave a loss to the Chiefs. They started playing more inspired football as soon as he became, the interim coach. So, you would think that Mark Davis, would look at that. Once again, it's not like, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go back and bring, oh God, you can go back and bring Hugh Jackson. Like, what are we doing? Like that's like that's not something that would make sense, obviously. So, to me, I just think keep Pierce. Once again, if I'm Tennessee, I would look at him too. I know he's had an interview with Tennessee. But once again, he's from there, and you got guys that are willing to forget about just. I mean, I know Max Crosby said what he said, but that whole damn team is ready and willing to play with him or play for him. So why would you not do that? And once again, but the Raiders got the same issue as the Patriots, though. The Raiders fans are going to show up, so it don't matter what Mark Davis do. They gonna show up to Allegiant Stadium every week. They gonna be right there at Allegiant Stadium. They're gonna go gamble down the road, and they're gonna pop up at Allegiant Stadium at 4:00 or 1:00, whenever the game is, and they're gonna have a blast. That's the problem. So he does, like you said, he doesn't necessarily have to take heed to what they're requesting as a fan base, because he knows they're gonna ultimately show up, and then that's the part that sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to quote Kendrick Lamar, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
Right.
So that's the only thing about the Raiders.
Exactly. And once again, he's from Long Beach. He brings over Jack Jones from New England, and Jack Jones looks every bit of the part that he was supposed to be here. Well, he had a good rookie season. He just, like I said, he just did some dumb stuff off the field. But it's just like, once again, you have guys there that want to play for him. You don't go away from that for a cheaper option or whatever you think is. I call it the new shiny toy theory. So I don't know. Keep him because of what he did at the end of the season.
Yeah. And also too, I was saying it on the 5150 Sports Show, shout out to Barry, Burke, all of them on there, is that Antonio Pierce learned under Herm Edwards, Marvin Lewis. He was the linebackers coach at Arizona State. So he has all of these people that he's been under. Also, he's bringing in Tom Coughlin for some advice. I believe Tony Dungy. And I just feel like he's ready for this coaching position. I mean, I would love for him to be the defensive coordinator for the Giants. He could bring over Max Crosby. We need him besides right next to Kayvon. That would be great. But I feel like he definitely needs this shot at being the Raiders coach. They should have kept Hugh Jackson as their coach back then when they went 8-8 when Al Davis died, and they didn't. But I mean, ultimately, I think he'll be a good head coach somewhere if the Raiders don't choose him, which I hope they do. But few things too is sources close to the Bears believe team will draft Williams or quarterback at number 1, but Caleb Williams is saying he needs the assurances that he will not be drafted by the Bears. So he's kind of pulling a John Eli Manning before the draft even starts. So should the Bears just be petty and draft Caleb Williams so they can trade him off and get however they want? Because Ryan Poles is saying, hey, the first pick is up for grabs. Or should they just leave Caleb Williams alone and draft your Marvin Harrison or draft, whoever you want, Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors, whoever you think is the best for the Bears?
So if I'm them, I stay away from the Caleb Williams thing. And I would draft Harrison Jr. at 1. Now, obviously, I want him here in New England, meaning Harrison Jr. So that goes against. But once again, we're being unbiased there. But if I'm them, I'm drafting Harrison Jr. first to pair with Fields and DJ Moore. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
And then you draft the lineman at 9. I think that'd be perfect because I think also whoever the other lineman they're looking for in the top 10, the kid from Penn State, I forget his name, but that's where that's where it's at. So draft Harrison Jr. at 1, draft your lineman at 9 or 10, and then go from there.
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely draft Marvin Harrison Jr. because, yes, you have DJ Moore, but even with Matt Eberflus's offense, they weren't really clicking in the beginning of the season. Now, near the end of the season, they were clicking pretty good, but you still need that wide receiver 2 or a true wide receiver 1 if you think DJ Moore is a wide receiver 2. I mean, Steve Smith, Carolina legend, actually was going to bench him for John Brown, his fantasy back in the day when Cam Newton was the quarterback over there at the Panthers. So...
Yeah, that's always one of my favorite clips.
Oh, I love it. I'll play that every day.
It was like, I'll just DJ Moore kid. I don't know. I think he's all right. But I was like, damn, I'm like, all right. But I love he did that in front of because he knew what he was doing. He knew that DJ Moore could be a guy that could be really good in this league, and he was right. So
yeah, exactly. And still sticking with the NFL, Steelers Bills postponed to 4:30 on Monday. Such bad weather conditions. So I still have the Bills pick in that one. Now, I don't remember the last episode. Did you pick the Eagles over the Buccaneers, or did we 1, 2, 3 it together? Because AJ Brown's out.
Yeah, so
Buccaneers.
We did 1, 2, 3, but I'm like, if that many people are going to be out for, and hey, Santos, what up, man? That was my coworker at my school. Santos, I know you was talking real crazy on Thursday about during our meeting about how the Eagles are going to run through everybody. I don't know, man. Once again, there's too many injuries, and I know you're getting some guys back on the defensive side. I get that. But once again, we're only talking for one game. For one game and for one night, anybody can be a problem. We seen Baker Mayfield do it a couple of years ago when he was in Cleveland against the Steelers, and they were a Chad. What it was a Chad Henne? Who was the running back? Oh, Matt Moore. It was a Matt Moore first down away from going to the AFC Championship game. So, I don't know. To me, it was a 1, 2, 3 early in the week with all things considered, but Tampa even at home may get the upset. So, we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I just think that I've said it before, this Eagles team is not as good as they think they are. They were 10-1 at one point, finished 11-6. I know Roscoe Dirty's going to think otherwise, so we'll see about all that. But
I know he's not on here now. Let's see. Tuesday, Rose Gold. If Philadelphia loses Monday night, I want your ass on the show Tuesday night. So I'm gonna message you. Aaron's gonna message you. We want you on the show. Actually, win or lose Tuesday night. Come on the show so we can talk about that. We could talk about Tatum as well, because I know y'all both of y'all love clowning me about Tatum. So please, like I would love for you to come back on so we could talk about Tatum. We could talk about what happened with the Eagles game and go from there. So we got to get you on the show. We got to get you back on. You too, Chelsea, because the season's over, so you can come on.
And anyone that's listening to this later or watch it later on the audio, if this happens on Tuesday, you must not miss that show. It's always entertaining having Rose Gold Dirty on here, and I feel like it's going to be one of the best shows of 2024. So, Washington Commanders first general manager signing that has happened this year so far. And the ex-assistant GM for the 49ers, Adam Peters, is now the new general manager for the Washington Commanders. Peters won Super Bowls while working in New England, shocker, and Denver, and has been in San Francisco since 2017, helping out the 49ers. So as a Giants fan, it's a great hire, but Washington will always be Washington. They're going to be mediocre. They're not going to be that good. So you can get anybody you want, and they're still not going to be good.
Yeah, but his track record speaks for itself. And so he was the guy that a lot of New England fans were calling on the radio shows saying, like, go get him to be up here to pair with whoever was going to be the coach. Maybe there's an outside chance that Washington throws whatever at Bill, and Bill ends up going to Washington, right? And to pair with Peters, because he already knows Peters. But I mean, great hire for Washington, though. Great hire. Once again, the track record's there. You got the number 2 pick. You got a high pick in the second round. So, yeah, I mean, if he's making the decisions, it might be not to the point where it may not be the it might not be the Doug Williams days, but they might be back on their way in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think with this hire, it's pretty much solidified that Drake May will be a Washington Commander. I just feel like that's going to be the starting point for the Washington Commanders, and I just feel like they're not going to poach this one, because with what the experience Adam Peters has, there's no way they're going to mess this up. But then again, I could be wrong.
Or because we just talked about it earlier in the show, or they get Caleb Williams at 2, right? And you'll laugh at this because you'll catch on to this, and other people that maybe here just may laugh. I'm worried because you said Washington be watching it. I'm just nervous about them drafting Caleb Williams and he becomes Jason Campbell 2.0.
Whoo, that is a throwback of the day right there, Jason Campbell.
Yeah, I'd be nervous. That's the only thing. I think Caleb Williams can have a great career, but situations matter, which is why he's not trying to be in Chicago. So I get it, but yeah, in the back of my mind, I can see him being Jason Campbell 2.0, and that would set them back even more. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, again, on the Feeling Blue that I do with CPNY Sports and all that, his squad productions loves Caleb Williams. He said he will do anything it takes to get Caleb Williams. I mean, maybe he's going to sing a different tune.
Anything.
But I'm not trading pretty much everything for Caleb Williams just because of what I've seen him do at USC. I think we can get someone not better than him, but someone of the same value while still controlling the picks. But before we go, I just wanted to put out this one last story. We got the first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm pulling it up right now. So we got first team offense, Lamar, CMC, obviously Jasinski, because there's no other fullbacks. George Kittle at tight end. And then we have Tyreek, CD, Amara St. Brown for receivers. Trent Williams, Penei Sewell, Joe Tooney, ex-Patriot right there. Zach Martin, Jason Kelsey. And then for defense, we have Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, and Chris Jones. I have something about that one. I don't think that's right. Linebackers, Fred Warner, Roquan, Quincy Williams. I'm very surprised he made first team, but I guess not really. Corners, Deron Bland, Sauce Gardner. Slot corner, Trent McDuffie.
Whoa, Sauce, what do you know? We told you about that, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
That team is bad, but he's great. He's awesome. So
Safeties, Kyle Hamilton, Antoine Winfield Jr. Oh my goodness, he's a beast, and yet he didn't go to the Pro Bowl, which is fine because I'm not a big fan of the Pro Bowl, but he definitely got snubbed on that one.
Yeah.
And then for second team, which we'll get into in 1 second, but is there anybody on the first team that you think should have been on here and not really? Because mine's Dexter Lawrence. He should have been first team over Chris Jones. That's ridiculous. Like, he's been the top tier defensive lineman, not the defensive tackle, defensive lineman. And yet you're going to put Dexter Williams on the second team. No, you need to swap that. I don't care that Chris Jones has two Super Bowls. It's Chris Jones from Kansas City. No, he's better than Chris Jones this year.
That's probably why he got the nod.
It has to be.
Being honest. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's the only swap there, but usually they don't get most picks right. They got most of these, or not all of them, right. Here, I was really excited to see. I like Kyle Hamilton a lot. You know, I enjoy watching him play. I do think that, you know, my guy would have had a chance to get there had he been healthy. Talk about, you know, Christian Gonzalez. I think that we'll see his name very shortly at the cornerback position. But listen, I mean, Deron Bland had been in best corner all year, or best, you know, coverman all year. You know, breaking all the records he broke down there in Dallas. So yeah, I feel like they got it. They got it right. You know, for the most part, like I said, but I have no. I'm not opposed to having Lawrence and Chris Jones swap. Chris Jones deserves to be there. He's an all pro.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he should not be first team.
He could have been, yeah. But yeah, they could have switched that. Excuse me, for sure.
Yep. And then we got second team, Dak Prescott, Kyren Williams. I actually think Sam Laporta should have been first team. I think he actually did better than George Kittle, but that's just me. We all know the Niner bias. But then we got AJ Brown, Puka, Brandon Ayuk, and Mike Evans. And then Tyron Smith, Lane Johnson, Tyler Smith, Chris Lindstrom, Frank Ragnow, edge rushers, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby. And then Sexy Dexy obviously is the D tackle, but also Justin Madubuke. Probably definitely said that wrong. I apologize. From Baltimore. Demario Davis, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Queen, Jalen Johnson, Travarius Ward at corners, Teron Johnson from Buffalo, slot corner, and then Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons to round it out for the safety position.
Yeah, lot of Ravens of 49ers on
shocker.
But once again, when you have the two best teams or two best records in the league, then that makes sense. To me, and once again, this may sound blasphemous, but so now just hearing the names in a second, only person I would put on the first from, or the other, not only the other person I put on for first is Puka. I mean, the dude broke records for rookie. I would maybe trade him for Amon St. Brown. I mean, once again, I know he had a great season. He will continue to have great seasons, but once again, when you can come in as a rookie and do what he did like that, you know, I would have put him first team All Pro.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ross St. Brown's hurt for 2-3 weeks, and then you have Puka, who didn't have Cooper Kupp for a good amount of the year, and pretty much balled out when he wasn't there. So yeah, I definitely would flop that one as well.
How did Justin Jefferson not make it, or is it because how much time he missed?
I think it's the time he missed.
And I'm like, the man still got 1,000 yards.
This is true. I mean, I'm surprised Jamar Chase didn't make it either.
1,000 yards. So, yeah, that's for you, DJ, because we said, he's not the best receiver in the game. When Justin Jefferson is healthy, he's the best receiver in the game. Period. I felt like CeeDee Lamb took a leap this year, and
he definitely did. Yeah,
it took a major leap. Obviously, we know what we know what Tyreek Hill was doing, in Miami, but when Justin Jefferson is healthy, and and he's active, he is the best receiver in football. That's not an opinion. That's a fact.
I would actually think Jamar Chase would be. And I'm surprised he's not on the list as well.
I'm always fucking open, right? It's real slight. Like, it's not something where Jefferson's like way up here and Chase is here. Like, it's probably, and this for those that's on the audio, you can't say, but I'm like, it's neck and neck. So, but on the video, like I said, Jefferson's here. Chase is like literally like right underneath. It's very close.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just surprised Jamar Chase didn't get any first team or second team as well. It's a little odd, but maybe because Joe Burrow wasn't with his quarterback for half the year.
Hey, listen, Jake from State Farm was out here killing it though with him. So
yeah, this is true. Let's see. You know what? We'll do one more topic here. So I found something here on Twitter. I kind of want to get your opinion. Out of the two quarterbacks, who do you think is the greater quarterback, Dan Fouts or Warren Moon?
Wow. I'm have to go with Warren Moon. Dan Fouts was a part of a revolutionary offense, called Air Coryell, for those that don't remember. Charlie Joyner, Lance Allworth, Kellen Winslow the first, way before I was a fucking soldier became a quote. That's a throwback for those that don't remember that one, but go back and watch it on YouTube somewhere. One of the greatest post-game quotes ever. Once again, don't like what he became later on, but after
he became a head case.
After he was a problem. But yeah, so that team was revolutionary. I think they had they got as far as the championship game against the Bengals, I think in 81. And then I think they lost to that team, that them going to the Super Bowl, and lost to the 49ers there. But yeah, what Warren Moon did in every league that he was a part of was special. He originally got blackballed, obviously, which is why he had to go play in the CFL. I think even the USFL. So, had we seen him in the NFL for his whole career, we would look at him differently. But just from where he was whatever he was able to do across the board, I gotta rock with Warren Moon. But both were great though.
Yeah, I actually put on Twitter Warren Moon just because one of the best. I'm not even gonna say African American quarterbacks, but I just think he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's just he doesn't get the recognition because he went to the CFL, right? Because out of Washington, they thought he wasn't going to be good enough. So, I just think that's going to happen. Yeah. But before we wrap it up, trying to do a quick one here. Obviously, like, subscribe, and follow That's My Sports on YouTube. I appreciate the 2 follows that have happened so far in the last day. So anyone that's watching this later or watching this right now, don't forget to like, subscribe, trying to help out the algorithms. We're trying to make this our permanent jobs here.
Yes,
so help us out. And also, we'll go into final words right now. I will start it off. Appreciate everyone that was in the chat. Whereas CPNY Sports, Hit Squad Productions, Sunny Days Jerry. So all the guys that are in here in the chat, they all have great channels, and everyone that follows them, they have great channels as well. I've been watching a lot. Shout out to Variety Sports Network. They have great stuff too. I'm always on there, and they usually either like or retweet us on Twitter. So shout out to them as well. Just trying to get to 100 subscribers, and going to try to do more shows going forward. And also, too, if you are a sports podcast, would like to come on here, would love to have you, vice versa. We pretty much talk about everything. And That's My Sports. We're trying to get a few divisions together for different things and spread it out equally. And as always, Black people matter. So Hollywood Ray, what is your final take?
Yes, sir. Yeah, felt good to do a Saturday show. It's been a while since we had done a Saturday show. For the OG listeners, y'all know it used to be every Wednesday, every Saturday. We were pumping them out like iron. So I echo the same sentiment as Aaron. Like, yes, we want to get more content your way so that you can keep seeing us on your screen and get to that 100 mark and beyond. Once again, and we firmly believe that's going to happen for us here in 2024. So for those that tune in right now, appreciate it. Those that tune in later on, we appreciate it. Keep listening, keep spreading the word. As I always say, word of mouth is still the best way to advertise. And yeah, like I said, we got more great content, on the way. And as always, Black Lives Matter, not just when it's convenient for you.
Absolutely. And as for That's My Sports, I'm the host of the most, Aaron Cass, here with Hollywood Ray. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.
Tie this game at 60.